The Grand Council chamber of the Galactic Alliance buzzed with tension. Hundreds of alien representatives from across the galaxy sat in rising tiers of seats, their varied forms casting strange shadows in the dim lighting. At the center of it all stood James Mason, Earth's chief diplomat, his gray suit a stark contrast to the exotic garments worn by the alien council members. The council had gathered for what they thought would be a routine meeting about trade regulations. None of them expected what was about to unfold. James stood perfectly still, his weathered face showing no emotion as he waited for the council leader to acknowledge him. The tall, blue-skinned being finally nodded, granting him permission to speak. "Honorable members of the Galactic Council," James began, his voice carrying clearly through the vast chamber. "For 3 years, Earth has been a peaceful member of this alliance. We have followed your rules, shared our technology, and worked to build trust between our species." He paused, letting his words sink in. Several council members nodded approvingly, but they didn't notice how James's hands had tightened into fists at his sides. "However," he continued, his tone growing harder, "we recently discovered something disturbing in our deep space monitoring archives. Something that changes everything." The chamber grew quieter. Even the normally restless representatives of the insectoid races stopped their constant movement. 50 years ago, before first contact, Earth was hit by an asteroid that devastated large portions of South America. We believed it was a natural occurrence. James's voice grew colder with each word. "We were wrong." He pressed a button on his wrist device, and a hologram appeared above the chamber floor. It showed a massive rock hurtling through space, but as the image enhanced, artificial markings became visible on its surface. Gasps echoed through the chamber. The council leader's skin shifted to a darker shade of blue, a sign of distress in their species. "This was no asteroid," James declared, his voice now sharp as steel. "This was a weapon. A weapon launched by members of this very council." Chaos erupted in the chamber. Representatives jumped to their feet, shouting denials and demands for proof. But James wasn't finished. "We have decoded the markings. We know which races were responsible. We know why they did it." He looked up at the gathered aliens, his eyes blazing. "They saw our potential. They saw what we could become. And they tried to destroy us before we could reach the stars." The council leader raised all 4 hands, trying to restore order. "These are serious accusations, Representative Mason. What proof do you have beyond these markings?" James smiled, but there was no warmth in it. "Oh, we have proof. Lots of it. And tomorrow, I will present everything we've discovered. But today?" He looked around the chamber, meeting the eyes of various representatives. "Today, I wanted you all to have one night to think about what you've done. To consider what it means to have failed to destroy humanity, and to have us now standing here among you, with this knowledge." He straightened his tie, a oddly casual gesture in the tense atmosphere. "You attacked our home," he said simply. "And tomorrow, you'll learn exactly how big a mistake that was." Without waiting for a response, James turned and walked out of the chamber, leaving behind a council in uproar. As he strode down the corridor, his aide Tom rushed to keep up with him. "Sir," Tom whispered, "do you think that was wise? Giving them warning?" James didn't slow his pace. "They gave us no warning when they tried to wipe us out. But we're better than that. We believe in justice, not revenge." He checked his watch. "Besides, my friend, sometimes the anticipation of consequences can be more effective than the consequences themselves." Behind them, the sounds of chaos from the council chamber grew louder, as the various races began to realize just what it meant to have failed to destroy humanity, and to now face them as equals in the galactic community. In the hours following James Mason's dramatic exit from the council chamber, the massive space station that housed the Galactic Alliance headquarters became a hive of frantic activity. Emergency meetings were called behind closed doors, and diplomatic channels buzzed with encrypted messages between homeworlds. James sat in Earth's embassy suite, watching live feeds from various security cameras throughout the station. The chaos he'd triggered was spreading exactly as planned. On one screen, he could see the representatives of the rock climbers, massive silicon-based beings, huddled together in their reinforced chamber. On another, the liquid-form delegates of the ocean mines were rippling with anxiety in their water-filled pods. "The data package is ready, sir," announced Lisa, their chief intelligence officer, as she entered the room. Her uniform bore the newly created insignia of Earth's Special Intelligence Division. "All evidence has been triple verified and formatted for presentation." James nodded, his eyes still fixed on the screens. "And our ships?" "Admiral Baker reports all fleet movements are complete. They're maintaining position just outside detection range of the station's sensors." Lisa's voice carried a hint of pride. "The Council has no idea we've developed stealth technology that can fool their systems." Tom, who had been quietly analyzing diplomatic communications, looked up from his terminal. "Sir, we're receiving multiple requests for private audiences. The rock climbers, the ocean mines, and the star weavers, all primary suspects in the attack, want to meet before tomorrow's presentation." "Of course they do," James replied, a grim smile playing on his lips. "They want to negotiate. To buy our silence." He stood and walked to the window, gazing out at the glittering expanse of space. "Deny all requests. Let them sweat through the night." Lisa cleared her throat. "There's something else. Our deep space monitors detected quantum communications between several Council members and their military fleets. They're mobilizing, sir." "Good," James said, surprising both his colleagues. "Let them gather their forces. It will make tomorrow's revelation even more impactful." Tom looked concerned. "Sir, if they decide to attack?" James turned from the window, his expression serious. "They won't. Not after what happened last time. You see, that's what they don't understand yet. When they launched that asteroid at Earth, they didn't just fail to destroy us, they made us stronger." He walked to a holographic display showing Earth's recovery from the impact 50 years ago. "That attack forced us to unite as never before. It pushed our technology, our resilience, our very evolution. We developed impact-resistant cities, advanced warning systems, and technology they can't even imagine." Lisa nodded. "The Quantum Shield Network." "Exactly," James confirmed. "They think they're hiding their fleet movements from us, but we can see everything. We've been watching them for years, learning their weaknesses, understanding their technologies." He paused, checking the time. "In 14 hours, we'll show them just how much we know." A soft chime interrupted them, another message from the Council. Tom read it quickly. "They're offering to postpone tomorrow's session, citing necessary time for proper investigation of claims." James laughed quietly. "Denied. Send them our standard response, Earth's representative will present as scheduled." As night cycle fell over the station, James stood alone in the embassy's observation dome. Behind him, Lisa and Tom had finally gone to rest, preparing for tomorrow's confrontation. He watched the distant stars, thinking about how humanity had clawed its way back from near extinction, growing stronger in the crucible of disaster. "You should have finished what you started," he whispered to the invisible enemies hiding in the darkness of space. "Because tomorrow, the galaxy learns that humanity doesn't just survive, we thrive on adversity. And we never, ever forget." In their private chambers across the station, the alien representatives who had participated in the attack 50 years ago tried desperately to sleep, knowing that when the station's artificial dawn arrived, they would face something far more terrifying than the primitive species they had tried to destroy: humanity unleashed, humanity aware, and humanity ready for justice. The artificial dawn crept over the space station, its light systems gradually brightening to simulate morning. In the main human embassy conference room, James Mason stood before a gathering of Earth Station personnel, conducting a final briefing before the day's crucial presentation. "Today, we show them that humanity remembers," he said, his voice steady and determined. "But more importantly, we show them that humanity learns." The holographic display behind him showed a complex web of connections, trade routes, military positions, and political alliances between the various alien races. Red lines highlighted the three main species responsible for the asteroid attack: the rock climbers, ocean mines, and star weavers. "Admiral Baker, status report," James called out to the large screen showing the fleet commander's face. "All ships in position, sir," Baker responded, his weathered face showing quiet confidence. "The new stealth systems are working perfectly. We have 20 battleships surrounding the station, and not one of their sensors has detected us." A low murmur of appreciation ran through the room. Humanity's technological leap had been extraordinary, driven by the desperate need to protect themselves from another attack. Lisa stepped forward, activating another display. "The evidence package is ready for presentation. We have recordings from their own security archives, retrieved by our deep space probe network. They never imagined we could reach their stored data." "And the quantum shield?" James asked. "Fully operational," Tom confirmed from his station. "If any of them try anything aggressive during the presentation, they're in for a surprise. Our shield can stop any weapon they have, because we've studied them all." James nodded, checking the time. 1 hour until the presentation. "Remember, people, this isn't about revenge. This is about justice and establishing a new balance of power. We're not here to start a war, we're here to prevent one." Suddenly, all screens in the room flashed red. Lisa rushed to her console. "Sir, we're detecting massive energy signatures. Multiple ships just dropped out of faster-than-light travel near the station." "Show me," James ordered, remaining calm. The main display switched to a tactical view. Dozens of alien warships had appeared, the combined military might of the guilty species, trying to intimidate Earth before the presentation. James smiled. "Right on schedule. Admiral Baker, execute Operation Mirror." On the tactical display, 20 human ships suddenly appeared, their stealth systems deactivating in perfect synchronization. They had completely surrounded the alien fleet, which now found itself caught between hammer and anvil. "Send the prepared message to all alien vessels," James commanded. Tom's fingers flew over his console. Across every alien ship, the same message appeared in their native languages: "Your weapons are already neutralized. Attend the presentation. Learn. Understand." In the following minutes, panicked communications flew between the alien ships and their ambassadors on the station. The human delegation watched it all, their quantum monitoring systems intercepting every transmission. "Sir," Lisa called out, "the council leader is requesting an immediate private meeting. They're offering unconditional surrender." James shook his head. "Denied. Send our standard response. They will learn everything in the proper forum, just like everyone else." As the time for the presentation approached, James stood in front of a mirror, adjusting his tie. Tom approached with a concerned expression. "Sir, some of our military advisors suggest we should accept their surrender. It would avoid any potential conflict." "No," James replied firmly. "This isn't about surrender or victory. This is about truth. About responsibility." He turned to face his aide. "Humanity spent 50 years thinking we were alone, that random chance had nearly destroyed us. We deserve our moment to show them who we really are." The station's announcement system chimed, indicating it was time. James straightened his shoulders and headed for the door, his team falling in behind him. "Besides," he added with a slight smile, "we haven't even shown them our real surprises yet. Wait until they learn what we found in their ancient archives, about what they did to other emerging civilizations before us. The corridors leading to the council chamber were eerily quiet as James and his team approached. Behind those doors, representatives of 100 alien species waited in tense silence, about to learn that humanity hadn't just survived their attack, they had used it to become the most formidable species in the galaxy. The council chamber doors slid open with a soft hiss. James Mason strode in, his footsteps echoing through the tense silence. The alien representatives watched him with a mixture of fear and resignation, knowing that their carefully hidden past was about to be exposed. The council leader, their blue skin now a pale shade of anxiety, spoke first. "Representative Mason, before you begin, we must protest the presence of your military vessels surrounding our." "Your protest is denied," James cut in smoothly, taking his place at the central podium. "Those ships are simply insurance against any rash decisions. Now, let's begin with what we found in the ancient archives of the rock climbers." He activated the holographic display, and a series of images appeared above the chamber. They showed different worlds, different species, all emerging civilizations that had been destroyed or stunted by similar natural disasters. "The pattern was clear once we knew what to look for," James continued, his voice carrying across the chamber. "Every 500 years, your coalition identifies potentially competitive species and eliminates them. The asteroid that hit Earth? It wasn't your first. It was your 23rd. Gasps and murmurs filled the chamber. Representatives from younger spacefaring races looked horrified as they realized the truth about their mentors in the galactic community. "We found records of them all," Lisa added, stepping forward with another data set. "The crystal beings of Proxima Centauri, wiped out by a random solar flare. The aquatic intelligence of Tau Ceti, destroyed by an unexpected ocean acidification event. All of them, eliminated before they could reach the stars." Tom activated another display, showing a timeline of destructions. "For 10,000 years, you've been culling the galaxy of competition. But humanity, we were different, weren't we? We survived. And then we did something none of your other victims had done, we evolved." James walked slowly around the podium, making eye contact with the representatives of the guilty species. "The asteroid impact forced us to adapt. We developed predictive AI systems to watch the skies. We created underground cities that could withstand any impact. We unified our planet in ways we never had before." He paused, letting the weight of his words sink in. "But most importantly, we learned to look deeper into space than ever before. And that's when we found your hidden observation posts, your secret weapons platforms, and your archived records." The council leader's translator crackled as they spoke, their voice trembling. What do you want from us?" James smiled, but it wasn't a kind expression. "Justice. Not just for Earth, but for all the civilizations you destroyed. Our demands are simple. First, you will acknowledge your crimes publicly. Second, you will provide us with the locations of all your victim species worlds. And third." He pressed a button on his wrist device, and new images appeared, detailed scans of seemingly dead worlds. "You're going to help us restore them." Confusion rippled through the chamber. This wasn't what anyone had expected. "You see," James explained, "humanity didn't just survive your attack, we mastered planetary restoration technology. Those underground cities we built? They taught us how to create controlled environments on a massive scale. We've spent the last decade secretly testing these technologies on dead worlds." The images shifted, showing time-lapse footage of a barren planet slowly coming back to life, atmosphere returning, oceans forming, life taking hold. "Your punishment isn't destruction," James declared. "It's redemption. You will help us restore every world you destroyed. You will watch as the species you tried to eliminate return to the galactic stage. And you will learn what humanity has already discovered, that true strength comes from lifting others up, not pushing them down." Admiral Baker's face appeared on a side screen. "Sir, we're detecting more ships entering the system. The other council races, they're sending aid vessels. They want to help." James nodded, satisfied. This was the real victory, not just exposing the truth, but changing the very nature of galactic civilization. But as he looked at the guilty representatives, his expression hardened again. "Of course, this is just the beginning. We haven't even shown them what we found in the deeper archives yet," he whispered to Tom. "Wait until they learn about the original species they overthrew to gain their power, the ones still sleeping in suspended animation, waiting for justice." The council chamber erupted in chaos as James activated the next set of holograms. The images showed massive underground complexes hidden beneath the surface of supposedly uninhabited worlds, complexes filled with countless suspended animation pods. 12,000 years ago, James announced, his voice cutting through the noise, there was another galactic civilization. The founders, as we've come to call them, were peaceful explorers and scientists. They created this very council chamber, built this station, and established the first interstellar alliance. Lisa stepped forward, bringing up detailed scans of the sleeping pods. "When they detected your civilizations emerging, they prepared to welcome you. Instead, your ancestors, the original rock climbers, ocean mines, and star weavers, responded with violence. But the founders had a backup plan." The holographic display shifted to show complex DNA sequences and neural patterns. "They didn't fight back," James continued. "Instead, they went into hiding. Hundreds of thousands of them, preserved in suspended animation, waiting for the right moment, waiting for a species that would understand their vision." Tom displayed a new set of data streams. "We found their message archives. They had predicted that eventually, one of the species you tried to destroy would survive. They left us everything, their technology, their knowledge, and most importantly, their hope for a better galaxy." The council leader's translator crackled with static as they struggled to speak. This is impossible. Those worlds are dead. We made sure of it." "No," James replied firmly. "You saw what you expected to see. The founders' technology was far beyond yours. Those dead worlds? They're elaborate shelters, protecting millions of sleeping beings. And now, humanity has the knowledge to wake them." Admiral Baker's image appeared again on the side screens. "Sir, the first restoration fleet has arrived at Target World 1. The Founders' automated systems are responding to our codes. They're waking up." The chamber fell completely silent. On the main display, they could see it happening, ancient stasis pods activating, life support systems engaging. The first of the founders were returning. "What we found in Earth's deep rock layers wasn't just evidence of your attack," James explained. "We found their message, waiting for whoever survived your culling of emerging civilizations. They chose us as their successors, not because we were powerful, but because we chose to restore rather than destroy." He turned to face the guilty species representatives directly. "Your punishment isn't just about restoring the worlds you destroyed. You're going to face the very species you overthrew. You're going to learn from them, as we have." The founders didn't believe in revenge either, they believed in growth, in learning, in second chances. Lisa's console began flashing with incoming data. "Sir, we're receiving transmissions from the awakened founders. They're exactly as the archives described. Peaceful, advanced, ready to help rebuild." James nodded, then addressed the chamber again. "This is humanity's true mission. Not to punish, but to restore. Not to rule, but to rebuild. We're going to rewrite the story of this galaxy, all of us, together." The display showed more planets lighting up as restoration fleets arrived, dozens of worlds where the founders had hidden their people, waiting for this moment. "Your choice is simple," James declared to the assembled representatives. "Join us in this restoration, learn from those you once betrayed, and help build a new galactic community. Or refuse, and face isolation from the new alliance we're building. Tom's console chimed with incoming responses. Sir, we're receiving messages from over 60 council races. They're pledging support for the restoration project. Even some of the guilty species are offering to help. James allowed himself a small smile. This was what humanity had been working toward, not just exposing the truth, but transforming the galaxy itself. The founders had chosen well when they left their legacy for Earth to find. But in the back of his mind, he knew there was still more to reveal. The founders' archives had shown them something else, a growing threat from beyond the galaxy's edge, one that would require all species, past and present, to unite against. That revelation, however, would wait for another day. As the council chamber processed the revelations about the founders, James Mason received an urgent message from Earth's deep space monitoring stations. He glanced at his wrist display, his expression growing serious. There's something else you need to see, he announced to the chamber. Something the founders left as their final warning. He nodded to Lisa, who activated a new holographic display. The image showed the very edge of the galaxy, where something massive was moving in the void between stars. The readings were unlike anything the council races had ever encountered. While we were discovering the truth about your attacks, James explained, our quantum sensors detected these anomalies. The founders saw them too, 12,000 years ago. It's why they didn't just go into suspended animation, they left us their technology and knowledge because they knew what was coming. Admiral Baker's face appeared on the command screen, his expression grim. Sir, the first wave of founders have been successfully revived. Their scientists are confirming our readings. The threat is real, and it's moving faster than we initially calculated. The council leader's translator struggled to keep up with their rapid speech. What are we seeing? James brought up another display, showing complex energy patterns. We're seeing why the founders chose humanity specifically. When your asteroid hit Earth, it did more than force us to adapt. The impact site contained traces of the founders' quantum technology. Our exposure to it altered us at a fundamental level. Tom stepped forward with new data streams. Over the past 50 years, humanity has been unconsciously developing technology that mirrors the founders' designs. We weren't just surviving, we were evolving exactly as they'd hoped we would. The chamber's main screen showed a massive dark mass moving at the galaxy's edge, consuming light and energy as it approached. The founders called them the Void Hunters, James continued. They're not like anything we've encountered before. They don't want resources or territory. They consume consciousness itself, the very thing that makes sentient beings unique. Lisa's console lit up with incoming data. First contact with primary founder scientists established, sir. They're ready to begin sharing their defense protocols. James surveyed the chamber, looking at each species' representatives. This is why exposure of your past crimes was only the beginning. The galaxy doesn't just need restoration, it needs unity. The founders knew that only a species that chose restoration over revenge would be capable of leading this fight. The display showed more founder restoration sites activating across the galaxy. Each awakening brought new knowledge, new technology, and new hope for the coming battle. Humanity's true mission isn't just to restore the species you destroyed, James declared. It's to prepare this galaxy for the greatest threat it has ever faced. The founders left us their knowledge because they saw in humanity something unique, the ability to forge unity from conflict, to build strength through diversity. Admiral Baker's voice crackled through the comm system. Sir, the founder scientists are requesting permission to upgrade our quantum shield network. They say it's crucial for what's coming. Permission granted, James replied, then turned back to the council. You all have a choice to make. The guilty species can continue clinging to their past power, or they can join us in building something greater. The younger races can choose fear or hope. But know this, humanity will stand with the Founders against what's coming, with or without you. The chamber erupted in voices as representatives began pledging their support. Even the rock climbers, ocean minds, and star weavers, their ancient crime now exposed, stepped forward to offer their resources and knowledge. James watched it all with careful satisfaction. The Founders had been right, sometimes the greatest threats could forge the strongest alliances. But as he studied the long-range scans of the approaching Void Hunters, he knew that the real test was still to come. The Founders didn't just leave us their technology, he whispered to his team. They left us a prophecy. And tomorrow, when the final stasis chambers open, we'll learn why they were so certain that humanity would be the key to saving not just this galaxy, but consciousness itself. The final stasis chamber hummed to life in the deepest vault of the Founders' main facility. James Mason stood before it, watching as ancient systems prepared to revive their most important passenger. Behind him, representatives from every council race waited in tense silence. This is the Founders Prime, Lisa explained, monitoring the revival process. Their leader, who chose to sleep last, waiting for this exact moment. The chamber's crystal surface became transparent, revealing a being of pure light and energy, far more evolved than the other Founders they'd awakened. As the chamber opened, the being took form, solidifying into a humanoid shape that radiated gentle wisdom. The Prime spoke, their words translating directly into every mind present. You have done well, children of Earth. You have exceeded even our highest hopes. James stepped forward. You knew we would survive the asteroid attack. You knew we would discover your message. Was it all planned? The Prime's form shimmed with what seemed like amusement. We saw many possible futures, but you chose the best path on your own. When we left our technology in Earth's rocks, we didn't just hope you would survive, we hoped you would understand. The being gestured, and the chamber filled with a holographic display of DNA strands, human DNA, but with subtle, crucial differences. Your species was already unique when we found you. You had something we'd never seen before, the ability to adapt not just physically, but consciously. Every challenge makes you stronger, every setback makes you more determined. Tom's console beeped with incoming data. Sir, the Void Hunters have increased speed. They'll reach the galaxy's edge in less than a year. The Prime nodded solemnly. They sense that we have awakened. They fear what humanity has become, what you will help the galaxy become. The being turned to the alien representatives. Your ancestors' crimes were born of fear. The Void Hunters feed on that fear, on division, on the darkness in conscious minds. But humanity learns to shine brighter in darkness. Admiral Baker's image appeared on the command screen. All Founder defense platforms are now online. The quantum shield network is at full power. But it won't be enough, the Prime finished. Not alone. Show them, James Mason of Earth. Show them what humanity has truly become. James nodded and pressed his hand to a nearby console. His skin began to glow with the same energy that comprised the Prime's form. Around the chamber, other humans present began to shine as well. The Founders' technology in that asteroid didn't just help us survive, James explained to the astonished aliens. It awakened something that was always inside us. We're not just going to fight the Void Hunters, we're going to transform them, just as we're helping transform this galaxy. The Prime's light pulsed with approval. This is why we chose humanity. Not to be our successors, but to be our catalysts. You take conflict and create harmony. You face destruction and create new life. The Void Hunters consume consciousness, but you expand it. Suddenly, every screen in the chamber lit up with alerts. The Void Hunters had sensed the Prime's awakening and were accelerating even faster toward the galaxy. But James smiled. Let them come. Every species here has something unique to offer. The rock climber's strength, the ocean mine's unity, the star weaver's creativity, combined with humanity's ability to adapt and the Founder's wisdom, we're not just going to survive. We're going to show the Void Hunters a better way to exist. The Prime raised their hands, and every being in the chamber felt a connection form, a network of consciousness that transcended physical boundaries. This is humanity's true gift to the galaxy. Not just survival, not just restoration, but evolution. Together, we will face the darkness not with fear, but with hope. Not with weapons, but with wisdom. James turned to face the assembled representatives, his form now blazing with the same light as the Prime. We came here to expose a crime against humanity. We stayed to restore lost civilizations. But our true destiny? It's to help every species in this galaxy evolve beyond what they thought possible. The chamber filled with light as more humans transformed, their consciousness expanding to connect with both founders and former enemies alike. The age of division was over. The time of unity had begun. And somewhere at the galaxy's edge, the Void Hunters sensed something they had never encountered before, a light that didn't flee from their darkness, but reached out to embrace it. The greatest adventure in galactic history was about to begin.